Hello, everyone, and welcome to our pediatric bibliotherapy presentation on The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I think many of you will already be familiar with this story. Today, we will explore how this novel can be used as a bibliotherapy tool for adolescents coping with chronic illness. Bibliotherapy is a therapeutic approach that uses literature to help individuals process their emotions, thoughts, and experiences in a safe and meaningful way. This presentation will cover the themes of the book, its developmental relevance, connections to nursing theory, and real-world applications in pediatric nursing. We will also discuss evidence-based research that supports bibliotherapy as an intervention for adolescent patients dealing with chronic illness and emotional struggles. Our goal is to demonstrate how this novel can be integrated into pediatric care to provide emotional support, resilience building, and a communication bridge between patients, families, and healthcare providers. So again, The Fault in Our Stars is a young adult novel written by John Green. The story follows Hazel Grace Lancaster, a 16-year-old girl diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and Augustus Waters, a former basketball player and cancer survivor. They meet in a support group for teens with cancer, and their relationship grows as they navigate the challenges of living with a terminal illness. The novel explores themes of mortality, identity, love, resilience, and existential questioning. What makes this book particularly powerful is its realistic portrayal of chronic illness, adolescent emotions, and the psychological impact of facing death at a young age. Unlike traditional illness narratives that focus on medical treatments, this book shifts the focus to the emotional and social experience of young patients. It also highlights how literature can help adolescents process grief, hope, and purpose, which is why it's a strong candidate for bibliotherapy in pediatric nursing. Now that we have introduced the novel, let's examine why it's particularly relevant for pediatric bibliotherapy. The book is targeted primarily towards teens and young adults 13 through 18, which is an age group that often struggles with identity formation, independence, and emotional regulation. Adolescents with chronic illnesses face additional challenges such as social isolation, difficulty forming relationships, and dealing with existential concerns about mortality. This novel provides a mirror for those experiences, allowing readers to see their emotions validated and helping them develop healthy coping mechanisms. This book is also beneficial for peers, caregivers, and healthcare professionals as it provides insight into the emotional landscape of adolescent patients. Let's take a closer look at some of the novel's key themes. Living with chronic illness, Hazel and Augustus deal with the unpredictability of their health conditions, medical treatments, and the limitations imposed on their lives. Emotional resilience, both characters demonstrate strength and adaptation despite their diagnosis, showing how adolescents can find meaning and personal growth in difficult situations. Peer support and relationship, this novel highlights the importance of friendships and emotional connections for adolescents with serious health conditions. By engaging with these themes, adolescents with chronic illnesses can process their emotions in a way that feels personal and relatable, which is why The Fault in Our Stars is an excellent choice for bibliotherapy. Next, we will dive deeper into how this book addresses specific pediatric stressors and their psychological impact on adolescents.
The pediatric stressor highlighted in this presentation is chronic illness and terminal diagnosis in adolescents. For many young individuals, being diagnosed with a long-term or a terminal condition disrupts not just their health, but their entire developmental trajectory. Adolescents with chronic illnesses often struggle with social isolation, identity formation, and coping with mortality. Because unlike their healthy peers, they spend a large amount of time in hospitals or undergoing treatment. So that time limits their ability to engage in normal social activities. So that can make them feel very different or excluded. And this is already complicating that process of forming an identity during adolescence. So facing terminal diagnoses could also cause questions about life and death. And it's at an age where most adolescents and most people their age are just beginning to envision their futures and what they want to do in life. Statistically, 10 to 30% of adolescents in the United States live with a chronic illness. So there are millions of people, young people, that are navigating those social burdens with their conditions, and that increases the risk for anxiety, depression. So this makes access to mental health resources very essential to ensure that they have the emotional tools to cope. So this is where bibliotherapy becomes very valuable, because by engaging in the literature, whether it's fiction or a self-help book, adolescents can find that validation, emotional support, and coping strategies. They could read stories about characters that are facing similar challenges, and that could provide comfort where they can relate and feel less alone in their struggles. It could facilitate emotional expression and resilience, allowing for young patients to process their experiences in a safe and meaningful way. So in this way, literature becomes more than just entertainment. It becomes a therapeutic tool to foster healing and understanding and hope. So now let's apply Erikson and Kohlberg's developmental theories to The Fault in Our Stars. Erikson's theory suggests that adolescence is a time where you develop a sense of self, an identity or independence. So this stage is known as identity versus role confusion, where you're asking, who am I, or what is my purpose? So in The Fault in Our Stars, Hazel Lancaster struggles with forming an identity beyond her illness. She struggles with being seen as just a cancer patient. I also noticed that throughout the book, she sees herself as like an emotional wound to those who love her. And she's questioning what her life means outside of being a patient and whether she will be remembered. Her struggle embodies Erikson's theory of identity formation as she's constantly seeking the meaning beyond her illness. While on the other hand, Augustus in the book has a whole different approach. I think he is deeply concerned with leaving behind his legacy and making an impact on the world before he dies, while Hazel is resisting forming those close attachments due to her illness. But Augustus embraces that idea of being remembered for something significant. So that is another key aspect in Erikson's theory. He has that drive and that desire for purpose.
Goldberg's post-conventional morality represents the highest stage of moral development, where individuals move beyond societal norms and laws to base their ethical decisions on personal principles. Adolescents in this stage develop personal ethics beyond social norms. They start questioning profound ethical issues such as fairness, life meaning, and death. This signifies their shift towards personal moral reasoning rather than simply following rules. Hazel and Augustus engage in discussions about existential topics, which reflect their deep moral contemplation. As they confront mortality, their decision-making shifts from societal norms to personal values. Instead of simply adhering to external expectations, they make choices based on what they believe is right. Augustus demonstrates post-conventional morality by using his last wish selflessly for Hazel instead of himself. This choice is guided by his own moral compass rather than external pressure. Psychosocial and emotional implications. Hazel copes with feeling of futility and guilt about how her terminal illness affects her loved ones. She believed that her death would cause profound suffering to her parent, leading her to withdraw emotionally in an attempt to minimize their future pain. This reflects a common experience among adolescents with chronic illnesses, who often feel like a burden to those around them. Adolescents with chronic illness may experience heightened anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. Friendships and shared experiences with other patients can be crucial for an adolescent's emotional well-being. Peer support provides validation, understanding, and a sense of belonging, which can alleviate feelings of isolation. In the novel, peer support becomes essential in helping Hazel and Augustus reframe their experiences. Hazel and Augustus develop a deep emotional bond that allows them to support and validate each other's experiences with illness. Their relationship helps them move beyond self-pity and instead embrace the idea of living fully despite their circumstances. Their shared journey demonstrates how peer support can foster emotional strength and improve overall psychological adjustment in young patients facing chronic or terminal conditions. Let's go over some developmental experiences Hazel and Augustus experienced all through their illnesses. Cognition. Hazel exhibits advanced cognitive development, engaging in existential reflection and abstract reasoning. She frequently contemplated the impact of her death, demonstrating metacognition and aligning with Piaget's formal operational stage. Example of this is when Hazel was referring to herself as a grenade, fearing she would emotionally harm loved ones. Language development. Hazel and Augustus use metaphor and irony, reflecting linguistic maturity. Example, Augustus' unlit cigarette symbolizes control. You put the killing thing between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to do its killing. Growth and fine motor development. Chronic illness limits physical ability. Augustus, who was once an athlete, progressively loses in mobility. Hazel adapts using technology and medical devices to maintain independency. Moral reasoning. Both characters exhibit post-conventional morality, making ethical decisions based on personal values rather than societal norms. Example, Augustus hides his worsening condition to protect Hazel, highlighting moral conflict between honesty and emotional protection.
Let's consider a real life nursing application of bibliotherapy. This is a case scenario for clinical use. So imagine you are caring for a 16-year-old leukemia patient who is isolating himself from family and friends. This is a common experience in adolescents with chronic illness. They may struggle to express emotions or accept support. By introducing The Fault in Our Stars, the patient can relate to Hazel and Augustus' experiences, helping them feel less alone. Through the story, the patient might realize that others share similar struggles, opening the door to conversations without feeling pressured to speak. As nurses, we can ask, did anything Hazel's story feel familiar to you? This allows them to express emotions in a safe way. By using bibliotherapy, we can help adolescents process their emotions, encourage peer support, and provide a sense of understanding in their journey with chronic illness. Family centered approach. So, this book could be recommended as a discussion tool to encourage communication, emotional expression, and connection with peers. Family centered care can also benefit from bibliotherapy as parents gain insight into their child's emotional struggles. By reading the book together, families can create a safe space for open conversations about fears and emotions. This shared experience helps strengthen support systems, making adolescents feel understood. On this slide, focuses on potential challenges and ethical considerations when using bibliotherapy with adolescents in a healthcare setting. It ensures that nurses apply it effectively and responsibly when working with pediatric and adolescent patients. So, number one, individual differences in response. So, not all teens relate to the same book. Some may find them distressing. The solution is offer alternative books or any therapeutic tools. Number two is risk of emotional distress. Stories about illness may cause anxiety or depression. We can monitor reactions, provide support, and encourage open discussions. Cultural and personal beliefs. Some families may disagree with certain book themes. We have to respect cultural and personal values when recommending literature. Ethical responsibility of nurses. Bibliotherapy should enhance, not replace, emotional and psychological care. We have to integrate it into a broader care plan with counseling and peer support.
In this slide, we explore the research that supports bibliotherapy as a useful tool in pediatric nursing care. Adolescents dealing with chronic illnesses face not only physical challenges, but also significant emotional and psychological struggles, including depression, anxiety, and social isolation. Research shows that these individuals are at a higher risk for mental health issues due to the unpredictability of their conditions and the impact on their identity and development. Bibliotherapy helps by providing an outlet for self-expression and resilience building. By engaging with relatable characters and narratives, adolescents can process their emotions, develop coping strategies, and feel a sense of connection. Research studies have shown that bibliotherapy improves communication between pediatric patients and caregivers, making it an effective tool for emotional validation. As nurses, we can integrate bibliotherapy into patient care by selecting age-appropriate literature that helps facilitate discussions, encourages emotional exploration, and ultimately promotes healing beyond just the physical aspects of illness. We chose Gene Watson's theory of human caring. Watson's theory emphasizes a holistic, patient-centered approach which aligns well with the principles of bibliotherapy. Through storytelling and literature, nurses can create a healing environment that fosters empathy, validation, and emotional support for pediatric patients. Adolescents with chronic illnesses often struggle with feelings of isolation, fear, and uncertainty about the future. By using bibliotherapy, nurses can facilitate meaningful conversations, helping patients process their experiences in a supportive way. This aligns with Watson's idea of transpersonal caring relationships, where nurses go beyond physical care to build trust and emotional resilience in their patients. Also, storytelling serves as a therapeutic medium that allows patients to engage with characters facing similar struggles, reinforcing the importance of support systems and coping mechanisms. By integrating Watson's principles, we can enhance the effectiveness of bibliotherapy in nursing practice, making it a valuable tool for holistic care. In conclusion, bibliotherapy is a valuable tool in pediatric nursing that helps adolescents in coping with chronic illnesses. It provides a structured way for patients to explore emotions, process their experiences, and develop resilience through literature. The Fault in Our Stars is a good example of how a book can resonate with adolescents dealing with illness, as it covers themes of identity, mortality, and social support. By incorporating bibliotherapy into nursing care, we can help patients feel understood and supported, fostering both emotional and psychological healing. As nurses, it is crucial to recognize the value of literature in patient care, using it to enhance communication, provide comfort, and encourage self-reflection in adolescents. By doing so, we create a more holistic approach to healing, addressing not just the physical, but also the mental and emotional well-being of our patients.